Are you ready to be entertained by one of the most ludicrous SJWs that I have seen in a long time? So, let me go ahead and introduce you to Brandon, who has decided that he is going to white knight for minorities, as SJWs like to do, and in so doing, proves that SJWs really are the biggest racists out there. Brandon decided that he is going to be super offended suddenly by orcs in Dungeons and Dragons, and has decided to say that orcs are a dog whistle for racism. So this is the thread. Okay, you're probably going to be, at least I hope that you were as appalled as I was when I read this, okay? So this is what Brandon said. If you think that there is nothing wrong with the way that Wizards continues to reinforce racist nonsense in D&D, please go ahead and block me now. I have no interest in any conversation with you or for you to interact with my design work. The harassment by these incel sacks of poop is ridiculous, and all TTRPG content creators should be calling their following on this. If you're part of a thread agreeing with all the people saying, well, maybe saying something is racist is the real racist, examine your life. Damn. This is in reference to a harassment campaign done by people who really want to defend this as not dog whistle racism. Orcs have a long history as a stand-in for various racial others. Really? Long history as a stand-in for various racial others? I literally can't think of a single time where an author of a work or a designer of a work or something said, yeah, orcs are supposed to be a representative for black people. I can't say I've ever heard that before. Where are you getting this from, Brandon? So this is what Brandon saw, and you're going man, this, when I read this, I was just like, are you freaking kidding me? So this is what Brandon saw that made him think minorities, okay? Most orcs have been indoctrinated into a life of destruction and slaughter, but unlike creatures who by their very nature are evil, such as gnolls, it's possible that an orc, if raised outside its culture, could develop a limited capacity for empathy, love, and compassion. No matter how domesticated an orc might be, its bloodlust flows just beneath the surface. With this instinctive love of battle and its desire to prove its strength, an orc trying to live within the confines of civilization is faced with a difficult task. So Brandon read this and he thought, black people. Brandon read this and thought, minorities. Brandon read this and thought, dog whistle for racism. Isn't that in itself racist? To look at this and to read, if race outside his culture could develop a limited capacity for empathy, love, and compassion, its bloodlust flows just beneath the surface. Isn't it racist to look at that and think, huh, this must mean black people? Am I alone here? Am I seriously the only one that feels like if you are reading into this and you are reading black people out of this description for orcs, isn't that literally racism right there? I seriously don't know how more racist you could be than that. That is absolutely disgusting. It is absolutely shocking. Well, it shouldn't be shocking because these are SJWs that we're talking about. And like I've been saying for a long time, SJWs are the biggest racists out there because they are. They continue to be, this is how they view minorities. But they, on the flip side of things, they want to continue to pretend that they are the white knights for all of these scummy people crawling on the earth right now. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting that they view people like black Americans and even Hispanics and stuff this way. So he continues and he said, I'm also not answering trolls, and I request all of you to do the same. Just black, black, black. What a freaking pathetic soy boy, man. Oh, let me also just point out that he does indeed have pronouns in his bio. Like I've been saying this for such a long time. Never take someone with pronouns in their bio seriously, ever. I've never met someone with pronouns in their bio who is someone who should be taken seriously, whose opinion should be taken seriously. I've never met someone with pronouns in their bio who is a common sense thinking individual. Brandon definitely is not one of those, as he sips on his Merlot or whatever that I'm sure is laced with soy, probably. So, and one of my friends here, he had a really good response to this as well. So Shadow Man, who is in fact a black dude, says orcs have a long history as a stand-in for various racial others. Really? I am a racial other, and I don't see it that way at all. You look white to me from your avatar pic. Who asked you to be offended on my behalf? You see me as an orc? You are racist, a beta male Karen. And that is 100% right. And I tweeted this out yesterday. Let me see if I can find my tweet of this. I tweeted this out yesterday, retweeted this, and I was like, if you're looking at this description of orcs and all you think is it's a dog whistle for minorities, that is freaking racist, bro. Which it is. I mean, and he continues to try to backpedal on this. He continues to try to play the victim on this, and it is absolutely pathetic. So today he posted this just 6 hours ago. He said,
I want to be specifically clear. The way that D&D orcs are described uses the same language used to justify genocide and eugenics of the racially other. The sudden defense of POCs in tabletop and claims that I'm the real racist is absurd, childish, and will continue with blocks.
So you are suppressing the opinions of people of color who you are claiming to be some sort of white knight savior for. Really? Isn't that doesn't sound like a good thing to do, Brandon? You know, you're not validating the opinions of people of color. Brandon, come on. You should be better than that, man. Don't you know that that is a bad thing to be suppressing the opinions and voices of the racially other, which is such a cringy thing to say. Oh, man. What a freaking cringy thing to just say. But seriously, he literally read this description for orcs. And he thought black people. You can't make this nonsense up. You can't make this nonsense up. But this is what SJWs do. This is why the fantasy genre and the sci-fi genre is becoming such a destroyed genre, because everything has been just inundated with political nonsense, and you can't even just create a story anymore that has nothing to do with real world politics. Like if I was reading this, there's no way I'd read this and think black people. I would read this and I'd be like, oh, cool. Okay, that's how orcs work in this fantasy setting. Awesome. That would be literally it. If someone showed this to me and they're like, hey, what do you think about this description for orcs? I would read it and I'd be like, that's kind of cool. I mean, it kind of gives them a little bit of complexity as a race, gives them a little bit of complexity as characters. You know, they have like the struggle of trying to fit in civilization and stuff. Awesome. I wouldn't read this, and I wouldn't be reading this and thinking black people. Like, how messed up in the head do you have to be that just to like I'm kind of lost for words by this, but he continues to pretend that he is in the right here, and everyone else who's pointing out his racism is in the wrong, which I'm just baffled by. So, and then there's a bunch of people that are now jumping to his defense and stuff. The mainstream media is writing articles about this and how orcs are problematic in Dungeons and Dragons, and they even have something down here which absolutely is completely inaccurate. They said, now Tolkien noted in other letters that orcs were not meant to be representative of a particular culture of people, which is correct. But then they said, and that orcs could be found in both sides of any conflict along with genuinely good people, which is not correct, because orcs were inherently evil in Middle Earth. Orcs were considered, I can't remember the correct phrasing, but according to Iluvatar, who like orcs are considered like the most disgraceful, appalling twisting of his creation ever. So, you know, even Iluvatar couldn't stand what orcs had become and stuff, because, you know, they were obviously a mutation, a twisting of his creation. So even there, orcs in Middle Earth are inherently evil. Like, there is literally no redemption for orcs in Middle Earth, while in Dungeons and Dragons there is at least some redemption for orcs, it sounds like. At least potential redemption. So, you know, it's just absolutely insane. These people are ridiculous. I can't stand SJWs, and like I said, this is just more proof that SJWs really are the biggest racists out there in our society, but they continue to have a disguise under this white knight banner that continues to unfortunately fool a lot of people into thinking that these people are on the side of minorities and are the ones who are defending minorities, while the rest of us normal people like you and me are just like, yeah, you know, let's just live our lives, you know, and let people do their thing, and then stop pretending like you are some sort of necessary good force for good for minorities on Twitter. And so this is just completely backfiring on him too. Like, there's a bunch of people that are just pointing out his nonsense here. Pointing out the fact that he has pronouns in his bio, like this right here, opinion discarded, because obviously he has pronouns in his bio, which is the correct response for anyone who has opinions in their bio, because all they do is spout complete nonsense. So, with that being said, let me know what you think about Brandon's take on orcs. Orcs are black people. Just keep that in mind. That's, according to Brandon, that is definitely a take. That is definitely a take. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I will talk to you all very soon in another video. Talk to you later. Bye.